A Blu-ray copy of Tenet was provided by Warner Bros. Home Entertainment for this review. This is not a paid endorsement of the film.
All I have for you is a word. Tenet.
Christopher Nolan is one of the few names in Hollywood that immediately gets me excited for his upcoming releases. As soon as he releases a title or even a synopsis, I'm excited. The same can be said for his latest mind-twisting, genre-defining epic, Tenet. Unfortunately, the film was tossed around due to the events of 2020, with some theaters showing it and others not even opening. Due to the inability to set a schedule and the climate of the world, the film failed to break even of its massive $200 million budget. Today, I'm here to tell you if you should go and pick up the film and enjoy it from the comfort of your living room. As usual, maybe subscribe. Tenet follows a secret agent, John David Washington, as he learns and understands how to manipulate the flow of time to prevent an evil arms dealer played by Kenneth Branagh from starting another world war. As far as synopsis go, that's as much of the film as I will reveal. Tenet, like majority of Nolan's films, requires as limited of knowledge as possible to see it. For this reason, I will keep spoilers incredibly light. Nolan took over 5 years to write the script for Tenet, and this was after almost a decade of building the initial story. Production began in late 2018 with casting in early 2019, with filming taking place over several different European countries. The film was also shot on 2 different camera arrangements, 70mm film and IMAX cameras. Without a doubt, Nolan has developed a style and taste that is immediately noticeable. The film's opening sequence, which takes place at an opera house, is a pulse-pounding, well-executed action sequence led by Ludwig Göransson's fantastic score. From there, the film takes a breather to try and wrap you into the film's rules. The film is stunning to look at, specifically the IMAX camera sequence that are beautifully rich. Unfortunately, the film suffers from the same issues of previous Nolan films, and that's the constant change in aspect ratios. The end result is a bit jarring, as some scenes will change aspect ratios multiple times. It's a nitpick, but one that might bother some folks. Action sequences are dialed up to 11, with action going both forward and backwards in time. At first, it's a bit odd, but then it becomes exhilarating in its own right. The end result is a mastery in execution and direction from Nolan, who has developed his worst trait, directing action, to something of his own. Tenet's dazzling design and spectacle has been a bit more divided from most, with a Rotten Tomatoes score of 71%. The biggest issue lying with the film's inability to nail down an emotional core. For me, despite the fact that this film is a cerebral film, pushing the mind's ability to process time, it does lack an emotional center. His previous work, Inception, also arguably his best, was able to pull this off with Cillian Murphy's character Fisher. Fisher's internal struggle with his father's acceptance is the emotional pull of the film. Without it, I'm not sure the film works in the same way.
Which is that Robert Fisher is the most important character in Inception. I'm not disputing that Cobb is the protagonist. The story is told from his perspective the whole way through, and his choices drive the plot. But Fisher is the emotional core of Inception. Though both men have to overcome the death of a loved one, Fisher's arc is more transformative. Cobb does grow and he's able to return to his children, but there is a distinct sense that Fisher is a fundamentally different person, having finally come to grips with he and his father's relationship.
Tenet is missing that piece. It almost, in a way, lives and dies with its premise. To me, I think that was Nolan's intention from day one. John David Washington's character is the film's obvious main character, but to me, it's the audience perception of time. Some clearly have an issue with that, but I think Nolan addressed this with Washington's character literally being named the protagonist. As far as technical work, Nolan once again worked with Hoyte van Hoytema. Hoytema worked on films like The Fighter, Interstellar, Spectre, and Dunkirk. The film's style of naturalism is very similar to recent Bond works, and definitely creates a feeling of a Bond-esque time film. The one absolute miss on the film was the film's sound design, which is absolutely atrocious. I was fortunate enough to see the film in theaters during the lesser extent of the world's current phenomenon. I thought the bass, the pulse-pounding music, drowned out the dialogue. Perhaps it was just the theater. Months had passed and lots of articles had come out about the issue with the sound design. This was confirmed on a home theater watching. Thankfully, subtitles is a regular occurrence in the Todd household, but be prepared to be really confused if you don't like subtitles.
I encourage people to just come to the movie as an entertainment, as a ride, because what I found with all of my
Tenet might be Nolan's most ambitious film. It's highlighted by some great performances, mainly Robert Pattinson, who in my opinion steals the show. The action is impressive and the execution of scenes like the roadway scene seen in trailers is technically masterful. However, Nolan's ambitions might be too grand for some and might leave others a bit empty inside. Regardless, this is an entertaining venture that is well worth watching.